When your kids start class next week, they'll find hundreds fewer teachers and staff in their schools.
24-hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia tracked down the specific number by emailing every single public school district in 14 West Michigan counties. Tony, that's about 117 school districts.
Yes, that's right, Sue. And even with just more than half of the districts responding, we counted more than 1,000 fewer school staffers, including the loss of more than 400 teachers.
I'm a little excited.
When Anna and Ashley Robinette go back to Northview schools next week, they'll be in a district with fewer teachers and fewer support staff. Their mom, Carrie Robinette, knew it was coming.
So I was concerned this summer of who was coming back to the school.
Specifically, she was wondering about Anna's art teacher.
My daughter really connected with her and she really enjoyed having her, and she unfortunately won't be coming back.
Northview is, of course, hardly alone. Dozens of districts are starting the year with a smaller staff. 67 of the 117 districts we surveyed got back to us, reporting a total of 424 fewer teachers and 1,041 fewer people on staff in total. 421 of those people were laid off. The rest retired or resigned and were simply not replaced. A handful of districts are actually reporting higher teacher counts, including Hopkins, Hudsonville, and the Lakeview and Penfield districts in Calhoun County. That's often thanks to higher student enrollment. But there are some districts like Northview that are cutting despite expecting more students in the seats. So what will students there see? For one, Superintendent Mike Paskowitz says there will be fewer adults checking in to see how kids are doing.
The other thing that people will see is higher class size numbers all across the district, looking at 30, except in the very young grades, K1 and 2. So we boosted those. They'll feel that.
It's hard for districts to calculate class size before the school year begins, but school systems, including Portage, are expecting small jumps. And student-to-teacher ratios are expected to grow slightly in Cedar Springs, Lowell, Shelby, and other districts. Robinette says it concerns her a little bit.
Because sometimes if your class size gets too big, your child, especially if they maybe need a little extra help, they might get lost in the system that way. If they truly need help, I think they'll get them there. But if they're kind of on that border, they might actually lose that little bit of learning in that area.
A number of school administrators stressed to us, looking at just 1 year can mask a wider picture. Paskowitz says he's been making budget cuts for 13 years as superintendent of several districts in several states.
It's happening everywhere.
In Michigan, he sees a funding system that's now set to continue spinning downward.
Unless you do something with this structure, this culture and climate and tie to public education is going to go away quickly.
The Northview superintendent says he was able to avoid deeper cuts thanks to concessions from employees. That happened in a number of other West Michigan districts, including Rockford and Greenville. In Sparta, the district sent pink slips to roughly 36 teachers, counselors, and social workers in the spring. Support staff took a wage freeze for the second year in a row.
It's pretty difficult. We're obviously the lower paid group in the district.
And all employees are now on new health plans.
I would say the insurance was the biggest, most glaring deal, if you will, because that affects every member personally, and it affects their family.
Because of the changes in the contracts and the way all groups work together, we were able to recall every single person from that certified staff layoff.
38 pink slips taken back. Though Superintendent Kent Swinson acknowledges not every district could avoid all teacher layoffs with that step. There were other sources of savings for Sparta. Bus drivers were privatized, and the district is using some of its fund balance, its savings, to fill the gap. The superintendent for Parchment Schools near Kalamazoo told us that district is using fund balance as well in hopes that funding improvements will come for the 2012-13 school year. But if they don't, Swinson notes, you can't keep dipping into savings year after year.
Because once you've spent that money, it's gone.
Some districts' numbers in our survey are estimates because sometimes they don't know how many kids they'll have until school actually starts. And keep in mind, different districts reported employees to us differently. Some consider a part-timer as half an employee, others just totaled the number of people. If you want to see where your district stands, we're posting that right now at woodtv.com.